in here now. That's gonna be in here. Rafik.
Can I help you with something?
All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Double salutations to all you Akim out the laboring, the house of David, the elect, that's pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. I'm back with another quick lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakakwadash. And as we all know, that 2024 has been labeled the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And based off how things are looking, it could possibly play out in that way. All right. This is why we're going to continue to highlight and emphasize the point. All right. Because the scriptures say that a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. Right. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3. And we're going to start at the top here, because that spirit of civil unrest, all right, chaos breaking out in the streets, that spirit is in the air. All right. This is Ecclesiastes 3:1. And it reads, a time for everything. It says, to everything there is a season. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Right? This is why you see a lot of division plaguing this society. All right. This is why this society is at odds with each other. All right. It says a time to get and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, which these prophecies are speaking, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. And we're clearly in a time of hate and war. All right, that's what's going on. Okay, so the headline from this article here from Breitbart.com, it says Maxine Waters, if Trump wins in November, there will be violence, more killings. All right, check this out.
How concerned are you, Congresswoman, about your safety if Donald Trump is reelected?
Well, I'm very concerned, not only about my safety and not only about the safety of members of Congress. I'm concerned about the safety of so many people in this country, particularly people of color. Trump has said that if he does not win, it's going to be fraud. And because it's going to be fraud, there's going to be blood in the streets. He threatens about a civil war, and he threatens there's going to be violence. So I say all of this talk is motivational with many of those who are racist, who are sitting at home listening to him, and they're taking him up on his threats even before the elections take place. And so it's about thousands, maybe millions of people, being threatened and being at risk because of Donald Trump.
Right. Now, I want to add on to that because, there's reasons why Esau's put out these movies, Civil War, The Purge, You know, he's put all these different, scenarios in these movies because ultimately it's prophecy at the end of the day. And these things are going to play out in due time. All right. And I just want to reference this article again. All right. On what Maxine Waters was speaking about. All right. This is about a year ago. It says, these are conditions ripe for political violence. How close is the U.S. to civil war? So this is all in the media. And this is why I said we're going to continue to press the issue, so to speak. We're going to continue to highlight and emphasize these things because this is bound to happen. All right. Straight to the point. As I read before, it says if a second civil war breaks out in the U.S., it will be a guerrilla war fought by multiple small militias spread around the country. Their targets will be civilians, mainly minority groups. All right. You so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, Hispanics. You're going to be the primary target. Opposition leaders and federal employees. Judges will be assassinated. Democrats and moderate Republicans will be jailed on bogus charges. Black churches and synagogues bombed. Pedestrians picked off by snipers in city streets. And federal agents threatened with death should they enforce federal law, which she was talking about. You know, she was saying that members of Congress or whatnot have been threatened, by, citizens and things like that. Death threats for their lives. You know, you got people pulling up to their homes, protesting outside their homes. All right. Because, the so-called people don't like what's going on. All right. It says Democrats and moderate Republicans will be jailed on bogus charges. Black churches and synagogues bombed. Pedestrians picked off by snipers in city streets, and federal agents threatened with death should they enforce federal law. The goal will be to reduce the strength of the federal government and those who support it, while also intimidating minority groups and political opponents into submission. All right. So this is what they're talking about. Okay. Esau is already telling you that these things are in motion. Right. Real quick. Mark chapter 3, verse 24. And it reads, it says, and if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And we see that America is clearly divided within itself. All right. On every level. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And clearly we are at the end of Babylon, America, man. All right. Division is what's going to be the main downfall of this system. Right. Mark 3:25 NLT. It says, Salakia, Mark 3:24 NLT, right? Mark chapter 3, verse 24 NLT, it says, a kingdom divided by civil war will collapse, all right? So once again, the point is that what? This is in the air. The spirit of civil war, the spirit of political unrest, social division is in the air. All right.
Racists who are sitting at home listening to him. And, Trump has said that if he does not win, it's going to be fraud. And because it's going to be fraud, there's going to be blood in the streets. He threatens about a civil war, and he threatens there's going to be violence. So I say all of this talk is motivational with many of those who are racist, who are sitting at home listening to him, and they're taking him up on his threats even before the elections take place. And so it's about thousands, maybe millions of people, being threatened and being at risk because of Donald Trump and his desire to wreak revenge on anything and everybody.
Congressman, real quickly in the less than 2 minutes we have left, 60 years ago this week, 3 activists, Mikey Schwerner, James Chaney, Andrew Goodman, they were murdered for trying to register Black Mississippi residents to vote during Freedom Summer. What do you see as their legacy today, especially as the nation faces more threats of political violence like the ones you've faced?
Well, first of all, I want to thank all of those people who joined in the civil rights movement, who are not Black, who are not people of color, who joined with us to try and get justice and equality in this country. But we see they were killed, they were murdered. And I do believe that, having listened to Donald Trump so many times and having the attack, the insurrection that took place on the House of Representatives, in Congress, on the Capitol grounds, that we could be in for more killings like that. And I think Donald Trump has to take responsibility for what he's saying about blood in the streets and violence if he's not elected to be the president of the United States of America.
As always, California Congresswoman Maxine Waters, thank you for coming to the Saturday Show.
All right, so hey, the stage is set, as we already know. Remember the elites, okay? They need the chaos to bring forth the order. All right, so this is, like I said, this is all already in motion. All right. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse 14, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, as we see here. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, all right, which is going to lead to what? Civil war. All right. Division, bloodshed in the streets. All right. These things are bound to happen, thus saith the Lord, Verse 16, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another, they should not regard their kings, their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right. So as she was saying, pretty much, these right-wing Edomites are getting charged up. All right. They're ready to take, violence by any means. All right. If Trump doesn't win, if things don't go their way, they're ready to take action. All right. Which is prophecy, sedition. All right. Rebellions, uproars. All right. This is going down. And men should desire to go into a city and should not be able. All right. Because of martial law, cities being closed off, cities shut down. Okay. For because of their pride, cities shall be troubled. Their houses shall be destroyed. Men shall be afraid. And it says a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil the goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right. Great tribulation is on the horizon, man. Things are ripe, okay, for civil war. All right. For political violence, man. Okay. It's in the air. All right. I thought this was interesting, too, to add on. It says five-stage events the Democrats may soon put into motion to spare themselves the worst political defeat in the history of the Republic, right? I just want to get straight to the point, because in this article it's talking about how Trump is going to win the election by a landslide, and the Democrats are going to do something to cause some type of scenario, some type of disaster, right? But getting straight to the point here, it says here are the five staged events the Democrats may soon put into motion to spare themselves the worst political defeat in the history of the Republic. Number one, it says a new demic begins, most likely gang of function of the bird gang. All right, you know what we're talking about, which the elites have been preparing the world for another type of outbreak, right? So you got to consider that. Number two, a terrorist event staged by the feds causes the grid to break down, right? Cyber attack, blackouts, right? Number three, New York judge Juan Merchan jails Trump without bail. This prevents Trump from campaigning at all. A possible deletion of Trump, right? Could be another scenario. Biden gets deleted, and Michelle Obama runs for president, man. So, and there's been talks of her, running. All right. There was rumors about her running for president, man. So you don't know what the hell could happen. All right. But something can turn this thing upside down, whether they have the election or not, man. But through all of it, whatever happens is going to cause some type of calamity and chaos. All right. So I thought that was interesting, man. But anyway, Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 4, again, it says, and these are the words that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. All right. It's going to get bad out here, man. All right. Once again, the conditions are ripe for violence. All right. Violence, more killings, as it was said. Jeremiah 30 and 6, ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail of a child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, which represents the elect. All right. So, as I said, man, as we see, that spirit is in the air. All right. 2024, the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. And it looks like this thing is really about to come into fruition, man. So, you know, we're gonna stay on the watchtower. We're gonna watch out and see what happens between now and these next 6 to 5 months going into this election, man. All right, let's see how it plays out. But you know, just another quick news and prophecy, another quick warning out there, just to remain circumspect. But I pray that this lesson was informative and also edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and Shalom.